For question 1A, in 2018, Gretel earned $32,000. She paid tax of 24% of these earnings. Work out the amount she paid in tax in 2018. To do this, all we need to do is take 32,000, multiply it by 24%, or times 0.24. So, I borrowed this. 32,000 times 0.24 equals to 7680. So $7680 is our answer. 680. So for question 182, in 2019, Gretel's earnings increased by 7%. Work out her earnings in 2019. To do this, we take 32,000 and then multiply it by 1.07, which equals to 34240.
Okay, for question 1B, Gretel invests 5,000 at a rate of 2% per year compound interest. We need to calculate the value of her investment at the end of 3 years. So it's pretty easy. We'll just do 5,000 times 1.02 to the power of 3, which is equal to 5,000 times 1.02 cube. 5306.04. Hold on, not 3. 5.
For question 1C, 1 month Gretel spent a total of $360 on presents. She spent 1/5 of this total on presents for her parents. She spent 2/3 of the remaining money on presents for her friends. She spent the rest of the money on her presents for her sisters. Calculate the percentage of $360 that she spent on presents for her sisters. To do this, we need to take 1 minus 1/5 minus 2/3 times 4/5. Which equals to 1 minus 1/5 minus 2/3 times 4/5, which equals to 415. Now we need to multiply 415 times 100, which equals to 26.67.
Okay, for question 1D, Arjun earned 36515 in 2019. This was an increase of 9% on his earnings in 2018. We need to work out his earnings in 2018. So first, x times 1.09 is equal to 36515. And x is equal to 36515 over 1.09, which is equal to 36515 over 1.09, which is equal to 3350.
So for question 1E, Arjun and Gretel each pay rent. In 2018, the ratio of the amounts each paid in rent was Arjun to Gretel 5:17. So A over G equals to 5/7. Arjun paid the same amount. In 2019, the ratio of the amounts each paid in rent was Arjun to Gretel 913. Arjun paid the same amount of rent in both Arjun paid the same amount of rent in both 2018 and 2019. So 2018 and 2019. So A over Gretel paid 290 more rent in 2019 than she did in 2018. So G plus 290 equals to 9 out of 13. Now that we've got this, we just need to take 5. Now we need to find A. So A equals to 5 7th G, and A can also equal to 9 13 G plus 290. Now that we've got this, now we need to take 5 7th of G equals to 9 13th G, oops, not the circle, G plus 290. Oh yeah, they want to work out the amount Arjun paid in rent in 2019. We need to find what G is. So now that we've got this, so now that we've got this, we just need to multiply the left side by 13. So 5. So that will give us 65G equals to, and then 7 times 9, which is 63. 63 G plus 290. So we need to expand the bracket on the right hand side. So 65G equals to 63 G plus 290 times 63, which is 18270. Now we move G to one side. 2G equals to 18270, and therefore G equals to 18270 divide 2, 9135. Now that we've got this, we can move back to our previous formula with any formula like A equals any equation. We'll do A equals to 5 7G. Now that we know what G is, we just replace G. So A is 5 7 times 9135, and A will therefore be 6525. So A is 6525. So the amount Arjun paid in rent in 2019 is 6525.
For question 2, the height H meters of the 120 boys in an athletic club are recorded. The table shows information about the heights of the boys. For question 2A1, we need to write down the model class, which also means the mode of the class, which is the most frequent number. So the most frequent number here is 30 because it's the biggest number. And then now we look up to the H, the height, which is this equation. 1.5 is smaller than H is smaller or equal than 1.6. So this is the answer. 1.5 is smaller than H, is smaller than 1.6. For question 2A1, we need to calculate an estimate of the mean height. This is very easy. So all we need to do is get the average of this of H in every box, in every row, 1.35, and then times the bottom part, plus 1.45 times 18 plus 1.55 times 30 plus 1.65 times 24 plus 1.75 times 27 plus 1.85 times 14, and then over 120, which is equal to and that would be 1.623.
So for question 2B1, a boy is chosen at random from the club. Find the probability that this boy has a height greater than 1.8. Now we need to refer back to the chart in question 2. So now they want us to find the probability that this boy has a height greater than 1.8. They want probability, means out of 120. Now, we just need to look at the height that is greater. Doesn't need to be equal, must only greater. So we can't, this has the word 1.8, but this is smaller or equal, not greater. So the only one that is greater in height than 1.8 is 14, frequency 14, meaning there are 14 boys out of 120 who have a height greater than 1.8. So it's 14 out of 120. So for question 2B2, 3 boys are chosen at random from the club. Calculate the probability that one of the boys has a height greater than 1.8 and the other 2 boys have a height of 1.4 meters or less. To do this, we need to take a big bracket and then just a bracket. And then now we need to put fractions in it. They said one of the boys have height greater than 1.8, which is 14 out of 120, times 1.4 or less. People who have a height 1.4 or less are 7, so 7 out of 119 times 6 out of 118. Now this isn't our final answer yet. We need to multiply this by 3 because we could just swap the sides like 7 out of 120 and 6 out of 119 and stuff like that, because there are 3 possibilities if we draw a chart. It could be short, short, tall, short, tall, short, or tall, short, short. So we need to multiply by 3, which will give us an answer of 1.7 over 9 6 over 8 is 21 over 20060. So it's 21 over 20060.
For question 2C1, we need to use the frequency table on page 4 to complete the cumulative frequency table. So it's basically the same cumulative frequency table, the same table, except it is only smaller than or equal to. So H is smaller or equal than 16 is 30. And then 30 plus 25 is equal to 55. So here is 55. And H is smaller than 1.7, 24. 24 plus 55 is 79. And it kind of progressively gets bigger. And then later 1.8, right? Yeah, 1.8. 27 plus 79 is equal to 106. And then the last one, 14 plus 106 is 120. And that makes sense because the because there's only 120 boys. So the maximum is 120. Okay, for question 2C2, on the grid, we need to draw a cumulative frequency diagram to show this information. So first we'll plot dots. So for 1.3 we don't know, so we'll assume it's at 0. And then 1.4 is at 7, which is somewhere around here. And then 1.5 is 25. 1.6 is 55. And then 1.7 is 79. One point eight is 106. And then 1.9 is 120 at the very top. Then we join these dots together. And it will look something like this. Okay, for question 2D1, we need to use our diagram to find an estimate for the median height. It's basically 120 divided 260. And we join it to the graph. And then make it go straight down. 1.1, that's 1.6. This is about 1.625. 1.625. For question 2D2, we need to find the 40th percentile. And to find that, we firstly need to take 40 times 120 over 100, which would be 48. 48. And then we join it to the graph, and we go straight down. That's about 1.559.
So for question 3a, s equals to ut plus half at squared. Find the value of s when u equals to 5.2, t is 7, and a is 1.6. To do this, it's very simple. We just replace these values with the value given of each of the unknowns and find s. So s would equal to 5.2 times 7 plus half 1.6 and then 7 squared, which equals to instantly calculated with calculator 5.2 times 7 plus half 1.6 7 squared, which equals to 75.6. So s equals to 75.6.
75.6. Okay. So for question 3B1, 3B, we need to simplify these stuff. So for 3B1, we take all the A's we put all the A's at one side and the B's at one side. So we'll do the A first. The A would be 3A minus A, 2A. And then for the B is minus 5B plus 2B, which is minus 3B. 2A minus 3B.
Why? Put the equal.
This.
Yes.
Okay, for question 3B2, we need to simplify this fraction times this fraction. So firstly, we can cancel out some stuff. You can cancel out x and 9 and 3. So this one would become 3, and this one would become 1, and this one became 1 and 4. So we can see 1 times 3/4, which is just 3/4. So the answer is 3 4.
For question 3C. 3C, solve 15 over x equals to minus 3. To do this, all we need to do, take 15, multiply x on both sides, equals to negative 3x. X will then be negative 15 over 3, which equals to negative 5. For question 3C2, 4 times 5 minus 3x equals to 23. To solve x, to solve x, we need to simplify it. So expand it. So it's 20 minus 12x, which equals to 23. Negative 12x equals to 3, and x is negative 312. So x is negative 312 or negative 312, which is 0.25, negative 0.25.
Okay, for question 3D, we need to simplify 27x to the power of 9 to the power of 2/3. So for the 27, it's pretty easy. We just cube root it, so we cube root 27, which would be 3, then square. 3 squared is 9. And then for x, it's pretty easy. 9 over 3 is 3, and then times 2 is 6. 9x to the power of 6.
So for question 3E, expand and simplify. 3x minus 5y times 2x plus y. To do this, we'll take 3x like this and multiply them in this way. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times y is positive 3xy plus 3xy, and then negative 5y times 2x minus 10xy and minus 5y squared, which equals to 6x squared minus 7xy minus 5y squared.
Okay, for question 4a, we need to draw the image of triangle T after a reflection in the line y equals to negative 1. Okay, so we'll just count. So it's 1, 2, 3 blocks away from the line y equals to negative 1. Then we go 1, 2, 3, and then this. We draw the same thing except mirrored. So that's 3, and then the hypotenuse looks like this, and then this one. Hold on, first I'll give it a color. I'll give this black so they don't confuse this blue and this green. Okay, for question 4b, we need to draw the image of triangle T after rotation through 90 degrees clockwise around 0, 0, 0, which is the origin. So first we'll take, clockwise. So first we'll do this part, and the 90 degrees clockwise is here. So that would be here. And then this, and then this part would go somewhere, and then we'll do this part first, the 90-degree angle. So we know that it would be turned like this, so it would be an upwards part, 3 blocks up. 1, 2, 3. And then later we know it's like this, so it's like this. And then the hypotenuse, hold on. And the triangle looks like this. For question 4C, we need to describe the fully single transformation that maps triangle T onto A. So it's very easy. It's basically a translation. Translation is like the easiest type of transformation. Okay, a translation. Translation. So let's see. 4 minus 1, 5. 5 to the right. 5 right. And negative 5 plus 1 minus 1 and 6 down. And that's the fully single transformation that maps triangle T onto A.
For question 5, x is an integer. So the total it is for x. For x is bigger or equal than 41, but smaller or equal to 50. For circle A, x is an odd number. So x is an odd number. We can do something like 4. You will use a stem and leaf diagram so it's faster to draw. So 4, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then we'll now that we've got this, x is a multiple of 3. So we have 42, 45. Oops, that's not 45. 45. And then we have 48. And that's all. Now for C. X is a prime number. So prime numbers, it can't be even because 2 isn't part of the list. So it must be an odd number. 43 is all the multiples of 3 can be divisible by 3. So it can't be 42, 45, nor 48. So again, we'll use a stem and leaf diagram. So now that we've got this, 41 can't be divisible by 3 nor... 41 can't be divisible by 3 nor 7 nor 5. So 41 is part of the list. You will use stem and leaf for this one. 41, it can be part of it. 43 can't be divided by 3. Neither can 43 be divided by 7 nor 5. So 43 is also a prime number. 45 can be divisible by 3 and 5. 47 can't be divisible by 5, 3, nor 7. So 47. And 49 can be divisible by 7. So 41, 43, and 47 are the prime numbers. So for question 5a, complete the Venn diagram to show this information. So we'll look at which similar features are in both of them, are in all 3 of the A, B, C circles. So 41, only A and C share 41. Now let's look at 42. 42 over here. 42 only B shares it. Now 43 only A and C shares 43. A and C shares 43. A and C shares 43. And then 44, none of them has 45. 45, B has 45 and no one else. B and A shares 45. 46, none of them has. So 44 and 46. 47. 47 is shared with A and C. 47. And then 48 is shared with B only. And then 49. 49 only A has it.
How is 42 in A?
Oh wait, 42 is in B. 42 is in B. Alright, now 50, none of them shares 50. Alright, now that we've completed the Venn diagram, for question 5B1, list the elements of A intersects C. So there are 3 elements of A intersects C, 41, 43, and 47. Now, B union C prime. So we'll take B union C prime, not B union C, which is this shaded area over here. And then highlight, and then take all the elements that isn't in the highlighted region. 49, 50, 44, and 46. So now for 5C. Find the elements of A intersect B intersect C. Now, this is easy because A intersect B intersect C is this middle section over here. But there are no numbers in the middle section, so we can just go ahead and put 0.
Okay, for question 6, Rahim makes baskets and mats. Each week he makes X baskets and Y mats. He makes fewer than 10 mats. The number of mats he makes is greater than or equal to the number of baskets he makes. We need to write one of the inequalities shows that this information is Y is smaller than 10. We need to write down the other inequality. So mats would be Y is greater or equal to the number of baskets he makes, which is X. So that's the other inequality. Y is bigger or equal to X. For question 6B, he takes 2.25 hours, 2 and 1/4 hours to make a basket and 1 1/2 hours to make a mat. Then we'll convert it into improper fraction. 9/4 hours plus 3/2 hours is he works for a maximum of 22.5 hours. Wait, X.
Redo.
Okay, for question 6B, he takes 2 and 1/4 hours to make a basket and 1 1/2 to make a mat. So we'll convert them into improper fraction. 9/4. Basket is X. 9/4 X plus 3/2 Y is smaller or equal to, because the maximum is 22.5 hours, smaller or equal to 22.5. We need to use this inequality to show that 3x plus 2y is smaller or equal to 30. So first we need to remove the denominator. And to do that, we multiply everything by 4. So 9x plus 6y is smaller or equal to 2.5 times 4, 90. Then we divide everything by 3. So 3x plus 2y is smaller or equal than 30. Now that this thing is this thing. Okay. For question 6C, on the grid, we need to draw 3 straight lines and treat the unwanted regions to show these inequalities. It's basically, if it says the inequality is y is smaller than 10, we need to do y is bigger than 10 because they want to shade the unwanted regions. So the first one is y is smaller than 10, but we reverse it. Y is bigger than 10. And we need to put dotted lines. Okay, then we shade the part that's on top of this thing. Then we do the second inequality. Y is bigger or equal than x. Equal to x. So we'll do y is smaller or equal to x. We'll do a normal line. Then 45 degrees or y equal to x. And then it becomes smaller. We'll use a different color for this one. We'll use green. And then for the third inequality. Okay, so for the last line, 3x plus 2y is smaller or equal to 30. We'll just assume y is 0. 3x is smaller or equal to 30, then x is smaller or equal to 30. So it intersects here. And then when x is 0, 2y is smaller and equal to 30, and y is smaller or equal to than 15. Then we join those two dots. They said smaller or equal to, so now it's bigger or equal to. Hold on. And then everything outside of everything that's shaded is the unwanted region. This is R, and then everything else is the unwanted region. Okay, now that we got these lines, we need for 6D, he makes $40 profit on each basket he sells and $28 profit on each mat he sells. So it's basically 40 profit. You'll just put profit as capital P. It's equal to 40x plus 28y. And then we need to calculate the maximum profit he can make each week. So let's say we'll take this point. Oh, no, not that point. We take this point. X is 4 and y is 8. 40 times 4 plus 28 times y is 8 is equal to 384. And then we try another one. Let's say this dot 4 9. So if x was 4 and y x was 4 and y was 9, it would be 40 times 4 plus 28 times 9. 412. Then we try this dot. which is 6, 6. 40 times 6 plus 28 times 6 is 408, which is not the biggest. So 412 is the biggest. The maximum profit you can make.
For question 7, the diagram shows the positions of 3 points A, B, and C in a field. 7a. Show that BC is 118.1 corrected to the nearest one decimal place. So we'll put this as x, and our answer needs to be 118.1. X squared, we can use the cosine law, equals to 80 squared plus 115 squared minus 280 times 115 cosine 72, which equals to, so then x will be cert. Our answer for this part, which equals to 80 squared plus 115 squared minus 280 115 cosine 72. So that which will give us 118.06, which will be rounded into 118.1, which equals to 1. Alright, we won't put equals because 118.06 does not equal to 118.1, but it can be rounded. So we'll put an arrow which is rounded to 118.1. So BC, well, we know the more precise version of it is 118.06. Calculate angle ABC. This angle, we'll label this theta. So theta, we can use the sine law. Sine theta. Sine theta over 115 equals to 118.06 over 70 sine, wrong side. Oops. Bring this thing down here. Sine 72. So sine theta will therefore be 115 sine 72 over 118.06. Alright, so first let's calculate sine theta. 115 sine 72 over 118.06. So sine theta is 0.93 and theta is arcsine 0.93. Arcsine 0.93, which is 67.88. So angle ABC is 67.88. For 7C, the bearing of C from A is 147. So C from A, which is this side, is 147. So 147 minus 72. This angle over here is 75. Find the bearing of A from B, so which is this side. Make sure it's 90 degrees towards the top. And then clockwise, this angle over here. We already know what theta is, so now we just need to find out the angle. We can find what this angle is over here, which is 75. Then we'll need to take 180 minus 75.
This angle is not 75. It's 180 minus 75.
Oh wait, this angle is not 75, it's 180. This angle is 105. So now that we've got that, they said the bearing from A from B. So it's 360 minus 105, which equals to 255. So the bearing from A to B is 255. Now from the bearing of B from C, which is this side, and then this tiny little angle here. Alright, firstly we need to find the angle of BCA, which is easily calculated. 67.88 plus 72, and then that 180 minus the answer 40.12. Hold on, 40.12. Yes. Alright, now that we've got that, we can find out what this angle is. But first we need to find this angle only. And that angle is, since these are parallel lines, this angle is pretty similar to 75. Now we need to find this angle over here. To find the angle, let's label this parallel. So now to find this angle, we need to take this side, which is 171. Where is it? Over here. 147. Not 171. 147. Now we need to take 180 minus 147, which is 33. So this angle is 33. Makes sense because 33 is less than the 40.12. Now we need to take 40.12 minus 33, which is 7.12. So the angle of the bearing from B to C is 7.12.
Okay, for question 70, Mitchell takes 35 seconds to run from A to C. We need to calculate his average running speed in kilometers per hour. So 35 seconds to complete 105 meters. 105. So we know that it's 105. 105 over 35 meters per second. But that's only meters per second. We need to convert it into kilometers per hour. So it's basically 115 divide 1,000. 1,000 meters over 35 over 3,600 seconds, which is equal to 11.8283. For question 7e, we need to calculate the shortest distance from point B to AC. That's very easy. It's basically this line. And then everything is 90 degrees. And it's a straight line. Not like crooked. So all we need to do is take 80 sine 72, which would be 76.08. 80 sine 72.
Alright, so for question 8, one of the axis, sketch a graph on the axis, on the axis, sketch a graph of y equals to sine x for 0 degrees, for x is bigger or equal to 0, but smaller or equal to 360. To do this, if you don't know how a sine works, we can estimate it by using what sine 0 is. Sine 0 would be 0. Sine 90 would be 1. Sine 180 would be 0 again, and then sine 270 is -1, and then sine 360 is back to 0. Now, if you want to be more precise, you can split it into thirds. But they never gave us thirds, so we can't really still get the exact calculation. So for now, we'll do with this. Now we need to sort of estimate oops. We need to estimate the curve of the graph. And it will look something like this, an S. Describe the fully symmetry of the graph of y equals to sine x for x is bigger or equal to 0, smaller or equal to 360. Now, to do this, the rotation order is 2. Basically, it means you can rotate it like this one time and then this 2 times. Yeah, 90 degrees. And then now we need to write down where the point is of rotation. To do this, this is very simple. Pretend this is an x and y coordinates. X is obviously 180 at 180, and y is very simple. It's 0.
Okay, for question 8b, we need to solve 4 sine x minus 1 is equal to 2. So then we move some stuff around. 4 sine x is equal to 3. Sine x is equal to 3/4. X is equal to arcsine, or the inverse of sine 3/4, which is equal to 48.59. Or, because they're like quartiles, this is sine and this is all. So we'll take 180 plus this 48 minus, so the first one's 48.59, and then the other one's 180 minus 48.59, which is 131.41.
Now for a question for C. C1, write x squared plus 10x plus 14 in the form of x plus a squared plus b. So to do this is very simple. X squared, x plus half of this thing, 5, without the x, squared, plus 14 minus 5 squared, which is 25. Which simplifies it is x plus 5 squared minus 14 minus 25, 11, minus 11. So x plus 5 squared minus 11. For question 8c2, on the axis, sketch a graph of y equals to x squared plus 10x plus 14, indicating the coordinates of the turning points. So, x plus 5 squared, no, y equals to x plus 5 squared minus 11. Now, when x is negative 5, y will be negative 11, because negative 5 plus 5 is 0, 0 squared minus 11 is negative 11. So when x is negative 5, y is negative 11, negative 5, negative 11. Alright, then when x is 0, then y is 25, which is 5 squared, 25, minus 11, which is 14. Y is 14. Alright, now that we've got this, we know that it's a positive slope, so it'll be a very, very steep U.
Okay, for question 9, the diagram shows a sector of a circle with center O, radius 8, and sector angle 165. For 9a, we need to calculate the total perimeter of the sector, which is basically this part, and then arc AB. Basically AOB, and then an arc AB. So, first we'll calculate arc AB. So, we'll use ratio for arc AB. We'll assume arc AB has length of x over 2 times 100. 2 pi r is equal to 165 over 360. X is equal to 165 over 360 times 2 pi r. Then in our calculations, we'll replace r with 8. 165 over 360 times 2 times pi times 8. So arc AB X is 23.0304. But that's only arc AB. We need to to find the total perimeter, we take the radius plus the radius and then plus the radius again. So that would be plus 16. 39.04.
Okay, so for question 9b, the surface area of a sphere is the same as the area of the sector. Calculate the radius of the sphere. The surface area of a sphere with radius r is a equals to 4 pi r squared. Alright, so now we know how to calculate the surface area of the sphere. But first, they said that the surface area of the sphere is the same as the area of the sector. So we need to calculate the area of the sector. We'll call this y. Alright, so we need to use ratios. So we can take y over and then pi r squared, 8 squared pi, equals to, now we can take anything that's similar, like 165 over 360. Now that is the angle. Now that we've got this, the area for the sector y equals to 8 squared pi times 165 over 360, which equals to 8 squared pi.
Oh, okay. Don't talk anything, don't move. I will cut off the voice. I said already, this one you just calculate the pi x square and the fraction, the pi remain.
Oh.
No need, okay? So the answer will be some number of pi. You no need to explain what also, you just do like that.
Oh. Okay.
Calculate.
So that'll give us, I'll remain pi 8 squared times 165 over 360, which is in fraction 20, which is in fraction 88 over 3 pi. So that is our area of, so y equals to 88 over 3 pi. Now we'll still remain it as y for now, because we already know what it means. Now we need to, 4 pi r, we don't know what r is yet. 4 pi r squared equals to y, or 88 over 3 pi, as you could like to call it. Now we need to cancel pi out. So then we can take r squared equals to 88 3 over 88 times 4. Oh wait. Oops. So r squared equals to 88 divide 3 divide 4. So r squared equals to 88 divide 3 divide 4. Put it in fraction so it's more, we'll put it in fraction because it's more precise. 22 out of 3, and r will therefore be 22 out of 3, which is 2.71 rounded to the nearest hundred. So the radius will be 2.71 centimeters.
Okay, for question 9c, a cone is made from the sector by joining OA to OB. For question 9C1, we need to calculate the radius r of the cone. So we know that arc AB is in this part. It is 23.04. Hold on. 2 pi r is equal to 23.04. Then we make r the subject. R is equal to 23.04 over 2 pi r, which is equal to over 2 pi, over 2 pi. And that would be 3.667. For question 9C2, we need to calculate the volume of a cone. The volume V of a cone with radius r and height is V equals to 1/3 pi r square h. So we need to find h. Now we know that r is 3.667. We can use the Pythagorean theorem to solve h. So first we'll draw the triangle. And then r is 3.667, 90 degrees. But we need to know this part. So remember at the sector part, OA was 8. It's also the same for this cone. OA is 8. So here is 8. And then we use the Pythagorean theorem to find h. So this is h. Hold on. So h is equal to sub 8 square minus 3.667 square, which is equal to 7.11. So h is 7.11, but that's not the answer. We don't need h, we need the volume. And to get the volume, we need h. So we have found h, we can calculate the volume now. So h is equal to 1/3 pi, and then r square would be 3. Hold on, r is 3 1/3 pi times 1/3 3.667 pi square. Hold on, 3.667 square pi, and then times h, which is equal to 100.119. 100.12.
So 10A, a rhombus ABCD has a diagonal AC where A is the point -3, 10, and C is the point 4, -4. Calculate the length AC. Alright, so this is our rhombus. ABCD. A is -3, 10. C is 4, -4. Now, they want to calculate the length of AC. To do this, we need to take and then delta x squared, which is 7 squared, plus delta y squared, which is 14 squared, which is 15.65. For 10A2, show that the equation of the line AC is y equals to -2x plus 4. Alright, so y equals to mx plus c. Now, we don't know what c is yet, but we know what we can calculate the slope by taking delta y, which is 14, over delta x, which is 7, which is 2. Or we can take negative, or it's negative 2. Yeah, it's negative 2. It's negative 14. Negative 14 over 2. It's negative 14 over 2. Oops. Negative 14 over 7. Negative 14 over 7. Because minus 4 minus 10 is negative 14. Over 4 minus 3 is 7. So negative 14 over 7 is negative 2 plus c. Now we don't know what c is yet, but we can find c by taking either this point c or a. So let's take point A. So y is 10. When y is 10, x is negative 3, so it's 6 plus c. c equals to 4 then. So y equals to negative 2x plus 4. If it is equal to what they ask you to prove, that means you're correct. So for question 10A3, we need to find dB, but since we don't know what the point of dB is, what the points of the coordinates of D or B are, we need to find the midpoint of AC as dB is perpendicular to AC. So the midpoint of AC is 4 minus 3 divided to 0.5, and then 10 minus 4 divide to 3. Alright, now we need to inverse the negative inverse m for the first equation of the line of AC. So y equals to half x plus c. Now we don't know what c is, so we can find c by taking our midpoint and substituting y as 3 equals to half x or 0.25 plus c, and c will therefore be 0.75. Oh wait, 2.75. 3 minus 0.25 is 2.75. So y equals to half x plus 2.75, and that is our equation for BD. Y equals half x plus 2.75.
Okay, for question 10b, a curve has the equation y equals to x cubed plus 8x squared plus 5x. We need to work out the coordinates of the two turning points. So firstly, the first step is to derive this equation. dy over dx is equal to 3x squared plus 16x plus 5. Then we make it into a double bracket equation. So we'll do 3x and then x. So first we'll try 5 and 1. So 5 times 1 is equal to 5, check. 5x plus 5x plus 3x is equal to 8x. So let's try switching it around. Plus 1 plus 5. X plus 15x is equal to 16x, and 1 times 5 is equal to 5. So it's equal to 0. So now we have two possibilities for x. It's either x is equal to negative 1/3 or x is equal to negative 5. Okay, now that we got the two possible values for x, we replace it into this equation. So y, we'll do the first one, which is negative 1/3. Y equals to negative 1/3 cubed plus 8 times negative 1/3 squared plus 5 times negative 1/3, which is equal to Negative 22 over 27. So the first possibility is negative 22 over 27. Thanks, Jason. And x, oh, hold on, that's y. And then x is negative 1/3. And then for the other possibility, x is negative 5. This is much easier because it's not a fraction. So we'll do negative 5 cubed plus 8 times 5 square. Hold on, 9 times negative 5 square plus 5 times negative 5, which is 50. So y would be 50 and x would be negative 5.
That's so big.
What?
No, number 2.
Okay, for question 10b2, we need to determine whether each of the turning points is a maximum or a minimum. We basically have to derive a derive, or d square y over dx square. So as I was saying, it is d square y over dx square is equal to the derive of this. So that would be 6x plus 16 and then plus 0, which is not. Okay, now that we got this value, we basically need to replace the values of x in these two equations. So we'll be picking the one on the left first. So x equals to negative 1/3. So it would be 6 times negative 1/3 plus 16, which is equal to Hmm, 16 minus 2, which is 14.
6.
14. Okay, so therefore, this sign means therefore in mathematics. Therefore, this coordinates is a minimum because it is from negative to positive. And then for x equals to negative 5, 6 times negative 5 plus 16, which is equal to negative 30 plus 16. 16 minus 30, which is equal to negative 14. Therefore, this is a maximum. Which is from positive to negative.